Right. Alex, good evening, sir. I'm glad to see you. Thank you for your contribution to make this stream happen. I'm starting with my new livery just to say thank you to Jacques once more for the livery. It's very nice. And then to you and Max here with me and everybody else that contributed to the new graphics card, man. Thank you very much. This will be my third flight and fourth or fifth time in X-Plane now, fiddling with it. And yeah, so far so good. I have very good frame rates. It's very smooth. I had one little hiccup during a landing, but I suspect if it was in X-Plane, it would have been a weather update. If it was outside of X-Plane, I have no idea what process almost killed me, but I almost didn't land because of the stutters and the low frame rates. But that was a fluke. So this morning I flew the same route, same city pair, same airport. No problem. It must have been a once-off just to try my patience, And yeah, now we're just going to enjoy it. And if I can, I'll make more videos and get back into the business of tutorials and things, Hello, Scotsman. Thank you very much, my friend. So here we go. We are going to fly from Nashville to Norfolk, and you guys are invited to join me. I'm half asleep to a certain extent. I'm okay to fly, but I'm going to need coffee. So when we get into the cruise, at least, I'm going to have to run, or maybe at 10,000 foot, like, let the aircraft just take off. I'm going to have to run and make myself a huge pot of coffee. I really, really need that. All right. Uncle Jon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you on the iPad?
I am indeed.
Okay.
And the TV has been muted.
Okay.
Okay.
That's helpful. Okay. Oh, come on. Good. That works.
You got issues?
No, I've got no issues. The people on stream is saying that you are much louder than me. I don't know why.
Oh, well.
I've also got a constant open mic as well, John.
I'm on the iPad, that's the problem. Hold on.
Right. I've brought the volume down a little bit on that channel, so let's see if that helps.
1, 2, 3, 4. Is that all?
No, same.
Yeah.
Sounds
That's,
the same
the
for me.
volume's okay to me, but it's background noise and stuffing and so forth is picking up.
Yeah, Alex, and you're right. My mic volume was down again, so I've just upped that. That should be better. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's not a good connection, that one. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's see. This should be better. All the audios and stuff. Yes, yes. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, Alex. So thank you for that. Let's quickly look at the charts and the stuff. Let's see, which way do I push? What do I do? Going to take to right.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Yes, sir. Right. Okay, so let's get power on. So volume in the sim. Get some air in to just cool it down a bit. This morning it was fighting with me for having it too hot in the cabin. Right. So NV1370, and what is the landing altitude? It's 26. To 50. Right, your damper can come on. Back, you can see the stream, okay?
Yes, fine, thanks.
Okay.
Right, I'm on the PC.
Oh, that sounds so much better, Uncle John. Right,
Good evening, Uncle John.
What was that?
Good evening, Uncle John.
Yeah, good evening to you, Mr. Mac. Your graphics are looking much better, Mika.
Yeah, it's nice, eh? Just talking with Twixter in the background quickly.
Give him my regards.
Yeah, noticed. Right, okay. Gilbert, goeienaand. Hello, Umur. Because we are waiting. That's one of the things me and Twixter were talking about just now. To use his words and my words, we basically said to each other just now, chasing laminar changes at this point in time is pointless. He was trying to figure out why there's such an instability in the flight model. It turns out it's not the flight model. It's got something to do with X-Plane's new atmospherics. Until 12.3 is released, there will not be stability. So there's no point. There's absolutely no point in us tweaking anything, and then we have to undo everything in the next release of X-Plane, you know? So there's your sweet and short answer. We were just talking about it. Twixter, Uncle John, and everybody on stream, Twixter says that I must tell you that he has not forgotten you guys. Okay, so he's still thinking of you.
I trust he's well anyway.
Yeah. And what Alex is saying is also true. Zibo is working on the 12.3 already and getting things ready for that. So when it's released, we'll have the stuff. But that is also two different things. The stuff Twixter works on and the stuff Zibo works on and the stuff we work on it's three different things, you know. So we all have to come together at some point in time. Once laminar has brought stability, and then we'll fix everything up. But to chase our tails right now it's pointless.
It's time wasted.
Yeah, it's total time wasted. So we enjoy what we have and we make notes. You know, everybody's making notes. Everywhere we go, we make notes to send to each other. I was sending notes to Zibo this afternoon as well again, you know, of something that happened. And, you know, we try and keep each other informed and in the loop best we can, you know.
Is Twixter aware you're streaming now in case he wants you? Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So he can ask you to do anything he wants to get confirmation of the handling.
Yeah, no. If there's anything, I'm sure he'll tell me. Yeah, we've been talking for 2 days already, on and off, about things. I did some tests. I sent him some screenshots this morning. One of the things that I did do is I found my takeoff CG was in a position where I used 5.5 trim, but when I landed, my last recorded trim was like 4 or below 4, actually 3.5 roundabout. And that was part of the testing of the CG Mac, because it's not supposed to be there. You see what I'm saying? It's supposed to be between 5.5 and 6.5 or something like that. That's where he wants it to be, you know. And
are you still doing your load balancing where
No. We're using, and specifically for the testing, we're not messing with anything. We are purely using Zibo code. So the Zibo code does the balancing of the loads and all.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you, for the guys thinking we won't do anything, we actually are doing something behind the scenes. It's just not as pronounced as before, and it's all because of, you know, we pick up things and we want to see whose fault is it, why, what's the story, what can we do, and then you realize, nah, you're chasing your tail again. But you know, all's fair. I mean, it's just giving us a better grasp on everything, but no changes are made particularly to anything yet. It's just Zibo's busy with the weather radar. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't do any of that load balancing with the cargo before takeoff anymore. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no, it's just we had to do it at that point in time, but since the new code, since airside services, you know, I just find it's easier to just let Zibo do it and get it over with.
Yeah, no, fine. I'm out of touch with it, as you know.
Yeah, of course. Right. Zulu on 23. Yeah, now people start to panic very quickly, and I mean, that's not the intention, but that's also why the guys must just, you know, even if you don't watch the whole stream that I do, just watch the first 10 minutes, because any new thing or any update, anything is usually the valuable information that you need to know about Zibo. We discuss here in the first 10 to 15 minutes, when you can, you know, go away and drink coffee or wine or something, you know. Hello, Sean. Oh, yeah, right. Right, this is heading select takeoff. They said starts many miles off the airport. It's not linked to the runway or the flight route or anything. You have to go hunt it. So there's vectors, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to overwrite the vectors. We're just going to link it ourselves. Scotsman, yes, Zibo's using the philosophy as always that it gives a more stable takeoff CG than a stable landing CG. All right, and what I used to do is I used to turn it around. I made myself a more stable landing CG. All right, and that's how I taught the whole generation of pilots. But at this point in time, his optimization focuses on the stable takeoff CG, and then, you know, you fly it when you have to. That's it, Dave. Yes, yeah. Yeah, you've got to be shrewd, sharp about it, however you want to call it. You know, you need to figure out, is it your fault, not your fault? Can you do something about it? You know, should you do something about it? That's the last question. And in this case, the answer is no. You shouldn't do anything, because if we mess anything up now, we're going to probably have to undo it next week or next month or whenever, you know, so. Well, Scotsman, the option is always here. All you do is you go to payload. Once everything is loaded, and you do what we used to do. You just go and change it over there. Once you've done the change, you can verify it here. See what is happening. And once you've set up the FMC, you can even get your landing CG. You know, that's never been moved. That's never been removed. All you have to do is just manipulate the cargo forwards or backwards and check it on the graph that you are within limits. You know, once you go over the limits of the landing CG, then you bug it. You need to go back, you know, change it again. But the whole functionality is still here the way it was. Hello, Marius. All right, I think it's waiting for us. We're talking too much, huh? But I'm enjoying it. I must be honest. I'm enjoying the chat. So forgive me. It's just one of those things. Hello, UVP. I must say, this is much more sharper than the previous card, Uncle John. The graphics here is sharp. It's really nice.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
I noticed that first thing,
Yeah.
but I didn't comment in case it was just my eyes.
No, Mac. No, it's definitely, it's much sharper, brighter. I don't know what else to call it. It's cool.
You've moved your sliders up a bit and
I did.
everything.
Yeah, I did.
Not a lot, then.
What is my reserves? Yep.
Ready for pre-flight procedure. Trim up.
Ground to cockpit. Toes driving up.
Tell me, Alex.
All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
That's nice, Dave. Ordered the tiller. Oh, okay. You're on that story as well. That's cool. Uncle John was telling me this morning how much he loves his. All right. 6. Let's see.
Tow connected, bypass pin inserted, release parking brake.
Okay, just alter the horses. want to make sure I've got everything. Wing MGP. Oh, yeah. Cool, cool. One of the other followers, my friends here now, asked me today, you know, what I think of this Wing MCP. So I had a nice chat. If you're watching, I'm not going to name your name, it's not necessary. This is A2. I would love to have the Wing when it's in this configuration, the newer FMC configuration. There's nothing wrong with the current model, it's just A1, but I would love to have A2. So I had a bit of a chat about that. I mean, the logic is just a little bit different, the firmware version is different, but you know, at the end of the day, it still does the job. So just for anybody else's information, that's why I'll hold back a little bit. You know, we'll wait for A2 to come around. Before start procedure.
Before start procedure.
Makes sense, Alex. All right, so beacon on. Let's get going.
Before start procedure complete.
All right, and brakes off.
Ready for before start checklist.
Don't worry, I did all that. What happened? Did it not switch at all? Stupid.
Okay.
Sorry?
Starting pushback, you may start your engines.
Start number 2 engine.
Starting number 2 engine. N2.
All goes in.
I've released a new driver, Nico.
What, NVidia? Oh, okay.
Yep. 580 88.
Got
Released
it.
today.
Starter cutout.
Mac.
Read up as to what's changed.
Exactly what I wanted to say. Check if it's worth upgrading. I don't want to go mess up my system. You know, I've had 2 good flights now in between where this new driver seems to work. I don't want to go and change something and then I'm back to a fighting story again.
Nico, they never updated for Explain.
No, they do
Operating
sometimes.
complete. Set
They
parking
do
brake.
sometimes. The Vulcan, Uncle John. The Vulcan component was upgraded very
So was that.
recently. 2 or 3 versions ago in the driver. This is why we need Mac to go and read it, because, you know, there's no point in updating the driver and then I have the same problem where I run out of VRAM. You know, I'll cry, I'll promise you. Start number 1 engine.
Starting number 1 engine. N2.
Dave, sorry, my wife started speaking with me just as I wanted to answer you. couple of the friends here on Discord
cutout.
and on stream
Engine start procedure complete.
got together and created a fund to actually get the 5070 Ti for me, and I got it yesterday. It's my birthday in a couple of days, and the guys all came together and thought it would be nice to gift me with it because they all know all my pains with the graphics card. And that's where it all originated from. Yeah. I was almost in tears, man. Tell you, very grateful. This is like my fourth or so flight. I can't even remember. I did a couple, you know, and I was fiddling a lot in X-Plane as well, so didn't necessarily fly that far, but we had to tweak it and get, you know, the hang of it and things like that. So I've spent a bit of time already in X-Plane with it. Before taxi procedure.
Before taxi procedure.
Yeah, so between Uncle John and Cody, they organized everything, and I've thanked them for it already. I haven't had a chance to thank each person individually, but I'll do that for you guys just to say thank you.
Complete.
Thank you, Linda. To you too.
Checklist.
Yeah, we are ready. Don't you worry. Let's get the flaps out. Makes sense, Alex.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Thank
Ready
you.
for before taxi
Forgot about
procedure.
you. Yeah, it was a battle. That 3070 was an awesome card. I just ran out of VRAM a few times, and it started to work on my nerves a bit. And then I found the sweet spot a few days ago with all my settings and sliders and stuff. You should see it in the previous stream, where I actually managed to do a full flight without having to reload and all those things. It was actually cool.
Been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
I don't know, Alex. Mac?
Right, the latest driver is WHQL qualified, which is the Windows qualification.
Yes.
It's got nothing to do with the Vulkan. It's all other game-related tweaks, although the full release notes have not been released yet.
Okay, hello, Twixter.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound like a bit of a rubber band, but we can hear you.
Okay, well, I'm on my phone.
No worries. I'll try our best to hear.
Nice to hear you.
I was just, so I missed what you've been doing.
Twixter, if you give me a minute,
that atmospheric disruption that I was seeing.
Oh, you're breaking up badly. I hear something about the atmospherics. Twixter, give me a minute. Give me a minute. My wife ran up here now. The washing machine's leaking. There's water all over the floor. Gents, give me a minute or so. Let me just go see what's spotting. I'll be back.
Need to make Yeah, XP. Okay.
That last transmission you did, Twixter, it's very broken.
You get 5 minutes, Mr. Mac. Have a look at that latest driver. See if there's any benefits, will you?
I've just done so, John.
And
I just said to Nico, it's all mainly game related other than X-Plane, and the bug fixes aren't going to affect us, but the full release notes still haven't been released yet.
okay.
I'll send you the link to the page, you can read it yourself.
No, I prefer to listen to what your summary is.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get going.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nico?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me a little better?
Yeah, it's a little better, yes.
Okay, I switched from Wi-Fi to 5G on my phone just in case that made a difference.
Oh, it's making a big difference, yeah.
Okay. I don't know, I didn't see your live stream, so what's the general experience that people have been having, RE, the instability that we've been discussing?
Well, I
Similar
think,
to what I observed? Or?
yes, yeah. Look, I think, talking very generally, what we can do is we can just ask the guys on stream to talk to us about the instabilities, the stuff that they have experienced, So just to put them into the picture, Dexter and I have been talking about the low level stuff. What did we say? Under like 2,000 feet, when you're on finals, after disconnecting the autopilot, it seems to be very unstable. It's like the CG is not in the right place or whatever. That was the one thing. The other thing we discussed was the rocking left and right during the cruise. We discussed a couple of other things. So Twixter obviously is responsible for the flight model. So if you guys have anything related to the flight model that you want to mention, hit the keyboard. Tell us. Tell us what your experience is, what you find. And we obviously want to know, what changed during the last couple of X-Plane updates, because we are of the opinion right now, as I said in the beginning of the stream, is that there's too many changes that happened in the laminar code, and we need to wait for them to come to a point of stability. Then we will make our changes. There's no point in chasing our tail. But we still want to hear what is your experience. Do you find the aircraft unstable? Why? What happens when? You know, things like that. I hope that makes sense. So if you have anything to say, hit the keyboard. Tell us. Start typing.
And while they're doing that, Dave, that NVIDIA drivers do take account of X-Plane because they do update their Vulkan elements quite regularly. But we're currently incorporating the latest version of Vulkan within the driver, and as far as I know, there's been no particular reported problems with the driver.
Yeah. I remember a month or two ago, Laminar actually said, guys, make sure you're now on the latest NVIDIA driver because of the Vulkan updates that's in there. You know, but that's, like I say, a month or two ago.
You know, we discussed briefly in the messages that I sent you, Nico, you know, I took a look at the weight and balance. I took a look at other things. One of the issues is that my previous test flights, prior to installing I had not flown XP in 4 months because I was in another country and had no access to my flight sim. So I had not updated I had not updated XP. When I came back and did a test flight, and I saw the comments on some of the forums about this issue, I didn't experience any changes.
Yes.
So I loaded the latest Zibomod, and I flew that, the latest version, which, by the way, have been absolutely no flight model changes
Correct.
since January.
Yes.
So it's been 6 months since any flight model changes have been done whatsoever.
Yeah.
But you know, I didn't experience any problem. Then I loaded the latest XP, and now I'm seeing what you guys are seeing.
Yeah.
So I thought this could have something to do with them changing the way CG is calculated in XP. They've done that to us before.
Prepare for takeoff.
And so with that in mind, I went and looked at all that, but all it did was mess up the teapot, so to speak. And it wasn't until this morning, or just now, quite literally in the last hour, that when I did a flight and I saw, after tuning my flight controls carefully, checking everything to make sure that I had no various signals coming from my controllers, anything, I took off and, of course, experienced this, the controls bouncing back and forth, you know, by putting the main yoke in view, which I normally don't fly with. Putting that in view, I could see it moving back and forth. So then I did an outside view, and I could see the old flapping motion where the nose is going up and down and the wings are flapping. I disconnected the autopilot, and it continued.
Before takeoff procedure complete.
And there was no weather, no winds, no turbulence, nothing set. So it has to be in XP atmospherics, something that they have done in the last changes. And I think it has to do with this preparations for 3D radar.
Yeah. Makes.
But I'm just guessing.
We've discussed it as well. The whole thing will have to come down to analyzing everything that's changed and then kind of matching the Zibomod to anything we need to change, or if it's a bug on XP side, we need to report it to them that they can fix it. It's either or.
It's got to be, in my estimation, it has to be. I'll do, you know, as able. You know, I'm only home I'm in Texas right now, But next week I'm going back to the Philippines, and I'll be in the same mode again, where at least for a while, where I don't have access to fly it. I
Gotcha.
haven't gotten established over there yet to a point where I can do that. And one of the main reasons I'm doing here, sadly, is setting up to sell my home cockpit,
Yeah.
because I can't take it with me over there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So
I'm with you.
anyway, that's another issue for another day. But I'm going to be pretty busy. So I will do some flying, but I can't dedicate that much time to Zibomod right now because I just don't have it. I have to focus on other things for the short time I'm home.
Gotcha.
So anyway, with the autopilot off, right, at Alpha, especially at the very least, to be at the lower flight levels, below 20,000 feet, is where I was noticing it. It wasn't as noticeable at cruise altitude.
Yeah.
But this is where, with the autopilot off, and absolutely no weather. I mean, I carefully checked, make sure there was no latent turbulence set. There were no, absolutely nothing, zero weather, right? It should fly smooth, and yet it was flopping in the breeze, just like, so there has to be something in the atmospherics in the latest version that that was caused by whatever changes they're making. And like I said, I'm just guessing that it has to do with 3D radar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
But it would be absolutely fruitless and ridiculous. It would be a bad thing to try and modify Zibomod to work around that issue, because it's an atmospheric instability. It's not a Zibo or an aerodynamic issue.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Mac?
Can you just confirm you haven't got either xEnviro or Active Sky plugin?
I don't use hardly any plugins at all.
Thank you.
And I do that because when I'm modeling the flight model, I don't want anything screwing with it that I can avoid. Now, I do use, I have those, but they're only set up for, I only have, what's the one that I use? Anyway, it's only when I'm working with my home cockpit, which is on a completely different computer that runs the visuals for that. So on my desktop, I have none of those loaded. The only thing I do have is what's the one that gives you all the sound effects and vibration and stuff. But basically, I don't have any plugins. So
thank you.
I always make sure that, like a lot of things, when you have problems, that's one of the first things you have to do when you're troubleshooting this stuff is get rid of all the plugins to make sure that it's not being caused by a plugin, So
exactly, yes.
And I always have worked with basic, as much as possible with basic XP, just to avoid that kind of stuff, so I know what I'm seeing. And to be honest, over all the years, X-Plane has been very stable for me just for that reason. Not having a dozen plugins that can all have possible negative effects, from time to time as they change XP. So anyway, that's why I think they're out with that. Until we see another release of XP that has potentially corrected whatever this atmospheric latent issue is, and I guess after doing another test, if I see this happen again, people need to start, and including me, submitting some reports to Laminar so they know where to look.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking,
Yeah.
Zibo's got the latest alpha release for the new weather update. We know.
No. Yeah, so he's already looking into it. When I spoke to him last time, he said that he's analyzed all the stuff that he needed to, and he now needs to write the code to get the weather radar into the Zibomod. You know, so he's progressed quite a bit already.
Yeah, that may not that may or may not directly address this issue, which I think is separate and completely unique problem.
Yeah,
the radar may work good.
Yes. You know? Yeah. Dexter, I did have a brief discussion about the issues we have with Zibo. So I said to him, you know, between us and you and him, you know, we'll figure out who needs to do what, you know, and we take it forward. So when he comes back into full swing again, because he's been so freaking busy at work, but when he's back proper, you know, I reckon it's going to take a little bit of analyzing and just making sure it's really not Zibo, that it's really something else and what it is. And like I said, then we decide who does what.
Well, I would say that the thing I would do, you know, with my suspicion that it's atmospherics, get in the stock 737 or one of the other aircraft, take off, do the same thing with all the weather turned off, no latent atmospherics, standard day, no wind, nothing, and fly it. Go out and observe, you know, from outside the cockpit, you know, whether or not the aircraft is flapping its wings, showing that there's something creating intermittent loads on the airplane. From what I observed, it's like you have constant, what we used to call washboard in the real world, like washboard turbulence. It's consistent, like a wave action.
Yeah.
And that, because like I said, with the autopilot off, the flight controls should be not causing absolutely any inputs to the airplane. And yet here was the airplane flapping its wing and the nose going up and down. That, to me, tells me right away that there is up and down drafts or something that's causing washboard turbulence in the atmosphere, and it's just stuck there as a latent problem. And the problem is, if you fly with real weather on, it masks these kind of problems, and you don't see the real true problem, because just assume that you're seeing the effects of real weather with atmospheric instability, etc. But the fact that it all turned off, we're seeing this, tells me there's a problem with the basic atmospheric model in X2.
Yeah. Understand.
So we can check it in the other one. It could be Zibo, but I kind of doubt it, because that means that something in his automation code, you know, for the auto flight system, is inputting some kind of flight control issues. And I didn't see the flight controls moving. That's another thing I guess to look at, is pull up the flight control indices on the EIED, lower EIED, and look at them in flight with the autopilot off and see if they're moving without doing any inputs to your controls. And if they're better, right, then yeah, we have a Zibo problem. But if they're rock solid and the airplane is bouncing around, then again, that tells me it's atmospherics, not Zibomod. So that's the best I can do at this point. I'm going to leave the flight model alone for now, because I really do strongly suspect that's the problem.
Yeah.
And if I try to band-aid it,
you can cause more problems.
More issues down the way.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And just
well,
to answer,
you know, I mean, up until the latest XP came out, were you guys having any issues with anything like this, Bill?
No, not at all. No, it was rock solid. No, it was proper. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's just another thing that kind of leads to believe what we're talking about. Now, there were some other issues that I identified that could maybe need work a little work on the stab trim settings and stuff to go back to what we had discussed before, because one of the home cockpit guys was telling me he was having some difficulty with rotation and how to, how the flight controls are interacting and high speed trimming and stuff like that. So there may be some stab trim tuning that I need to do to address those kind of things, but I don't think it's something that was affecting most most desktop simmers. Otherwise, you'd have been getting some complaints about it. So,
Yeah, no, for
Can
sure.
you just unhide your yokes for a minute, Nika?
Right, by the way, Scotsman, yeah, that's exactly what I'm implying there. And hello, Vaughan.
Thank you, Nika.
Yeah, you're welcome.
the one thing that I keep talking, I hate to go back and talk about a sore point. I was going to make these videos about how to fly the airplane, and then, of course, as Nico is aware, the last 18 months has been hell on earth for me with various problems, and including some family loss recently. But, making sure that your flight controls are properly tuned is really important.
It's vital. Yeah.
Make sure that everybody needs to know that regardless of what kind of flight controllers they're using, to make sure that they test their system for noise in every access.
Yeah.
And then use the null zone tunings to tune out any neutral noise, right? If your controllers are bouncing around when they're in the neutral position, that's an obvious sign. And all of these things can mask or contribute to the instability problem, because if you're getting any noise in the neutral, i.e., how it is when you move your controls laterally or in pitch, you come up against the resistance stop of where the spring tension starts to kick in, right? So it's got a little wiggle room. All that wiggle room, you should be able to move your controls in that wiggle room without seeing any movement of your flight controls in the cockpit at all. If you do, you don't have your null zone set wide enough.
Well, at this point in time, as we are looking at my flight controls, we are in that roll error that we were talking about earlier. It's the aircraft's literally rolling. It's oscillating left and right in a set pattern, basically. So this is, it's an absolute cycle, and it's not something that's related to the controls. My controls are 100% stable, null zone.
What I'm talking about is you have to test it on the ground.
Yeah.
When you're not flying.
I'm with you.
Right, and you've got the cockpit powered up. There's no aerodynamics going on, and you move your flight controls around within your neutral free zone. In other words,
sure,
the SWAPP zone. And you shouldn't see any of your flight controls in the cockpit move at all.
Exactly.
If they do, then you need a wider null zone, and you keep widening it until you can move those flight controls around in that null zone area with no movement in the cockpit controls.
Correct.
That rules out anyway. But what you're talking about is probably the same thing as what I was talking about in pitch.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's why I'm saying I think it's the atmospherics and XP.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with Zibo.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just to show the guys here on stream, what Twixter is also talking about, you can actually see it in your hardware calibration. If there's any noise, you will see numbers over here. All of these things has to be 0. If you see any movement in these numbers, you need to up the noise level there. That's your noise level. Okay, so my rudder pedals require a noise level setting of number 2 to get this thing to be stable. So it's going to ignore all the controller inputs that comes from the worn out pods, basically, until it hits a certain threshold. Okay, you see that? This is the other way of seeing it. So apart from looking here and seeing no movement on the controller, that's the place where you're going to see the minutest little spikes are going to show in there. And then you just have to balance it out with your settings. And then the moment you get the zeros, you know your controllers will not interfere with the Zibo code and induce things that it shouldn't.
And a key point to that, just to add to what Nico is saying, is make sure that you fully calibrate your controllers before you go in and do that.
Yes.
And the difference between a high quality controller, as you saw with the pitch and roll axis in Nico's cockpit there, he was able to use 0 in the null zone because of the quality of the sensors. Right? The sensors are good and quiet. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I sold my Thrustmaster Boeing control yoke several months ago because I thought I was going to be activating my home cockpit, and then my life kind of took a detour. But I'm now using on my desktop my old standby, which is my 3D stick. You know, the Logitech 3D stick, which a lot of people have. And it's a cheap solution, but the quality is so poor that I have to set my pitch null zone is set at 9, and my roll null zone is set at 16.
Wow.
In order to keep that SWAPP zone quiet. In other words, because, and I think what people need to understand is you're flying along, and now when you're on autopilot, up to a point it won't matter. But when you're not on autopilot, even just sitting in that null zone, any of that noise in there that's spiking is going to cause aberrant pitch and roll inputs to the aircraft, which makes it feel unstable. And it's controller induced at that point, even though you're not putting any inputs in. The stick is just arbitrarily putting inputs in to your flight controls. So yeah, that's a really important part of it, and I'm glad that Lubos had included that, because otherwise it makes it very difficult to tune some of these lower quality controllers to be able to fly adequately. And, so I really miss my Thrustmaster Boeing yoke, because that thing was rock solid also. I mean, needed 0 input. You know, that's probably because it uses I think it used the magnetic sensors. But anyway, enough said on my part. That's where we're at. I can't see doing any significant changes to the flight model until this settles down.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. Let laminar settle. Once we've got solid ground, we can worry again if need be.
Yeah. Well,
the only significant changes that I feel I'm aware of since 12.1 with X-Plane was the changeover period between Meta controlling the weather at airfields and just above ground, and the atmospherics of the weather engine above the Meta. Now, I don't know what altitude they stop the priority for Meta compared with just the weather engine, and whether that was causing problems on approaches, for example. But my feeling is they did some changes in that area since 12.1.
Yeah, no, definitely. But there's bound to be a little bit more. There's bound to be, you know, and time will tell, Mac. Time will tell. We'll figure it out.
I agree,
and Zibo will figure it out too. I said to Twixter the other day, and I'm just repeating here to you, I'm pretty sure that Zibo will have some code that he can implement or have a workaround, call it whatever you want, while we're waiting for Twixter to get his feet, on his feet and get his sim going in the new house and things like that. So Zibo is good at analyzing these things, and even if he has to put an extra line of code just to make the autopilot react faster or slower to give the impression that it's working, it's unfortunate, but we have to.
I don't think that's possible.
Is it?
If what I'm suspecting is correct, there's nothing he can do with the autopilot code to work around that.
Okay, so that's when we start telling Laminar there's a problem.
Yeah, because the issue is if you're having this constant intermittent up and down drops, like I call it washboard, that's not, to make the airframe respond to that in a rapid enough speed is almost impossible.
I understand what you say. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
And no matter what he does with the autopilot, right? And the other thing is when the autopilot's off, you're still getting that same effect. So when you're hand flying it, you can't have stability. And I was noticing it on takeoff because I would rotate, and then I'd pull the nose up, and then the nose would drop, and I hadn't changed my pitch input, and then I'd pull a little more to pull it up, and it'd go in, and it was unstable on the takeoff rotation. And I thought, well, that's at first I was blaming my controller, right? But it's something that just wasn't there in 12.1.
Yeah.
So there's something that they've messed around, and you know how coding is, right? They can leave something latent and not even know it's there, and then they have to go hunt for it. And it's obviously something that got induced during the beta. I don't know, right? Because I'm not a coder, but that's my suspicion. That something they're doing with the atmospheric model in order to build in the what they need for the 3D radar is probably, if not the root cause, it's causing a side effect, that impacts us. But I'm just guessing at this point.
They have changed things like the atmospherics, like the cloud, how they're depicting cloud these days. That's changed.
Yeah, and somebody on stream, I think it was Sean, he was actually saying that, or it could have been Flying Scotsman. Sorry, I'll have to go read back up. One of them said that when they fly into clouds, there's a noticeable difference in how the aircraft reacts as well. So this ties in with what we're saying now, and with the changes in clouds and things like that, it's having an influence in the way the Zibo reacts.
Well, there's two things there. One, and we've discussed this in general before. Most desktop pilots, they cannot, and I'm not saying this to, hopefully no one being insulted by what I'm saying here, but if they're not actually pilots, and they've never experienced it in life, in real life, in flight, it will seem strange to them when the airplane flies into clouds that it suddenly becomes unstable, which is normal. This is normal. Especially in any cumulatively formed cloud. You constantly have up and down drops, and I expect some turbulence as soon as I penetrate a cloud. And the airplane is going to have to, the autopilot will be compensating unless it gets too bad. Then you have to kick the autopilot off and hand fly it. And it's happened to me hundreds and hundreds of times in real life. But on the desktop, when you don't have seat of the pants turbulence feel either, it comes across as a feeling of instability because you don't have that sense of turbulence in the seat of your pants.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that issue. The other one is Laminar has messed around and created this 3G camera, and they default to having it on. They create a new toy, so they make sure that it's turned on when you first turn on XP. Unless you go in and turn it off, you're not going to realize it's there. And now you're flying along, and every time you get a bounce, a turbulence, or a wind gust in the atmosphere, the airplane reacts, and you see the airplane acting what appears to be in an unstable fashion, but it's actually that 3G camera doing it. Turn off the 3G camera. So you got a whole bunch of things that are interacting there that create this appearance of instability, and it has nothing to do with the Zibomod itself. It has everything to do with XP and the changes they made.
But now that you mentioned that, Victor, we also have experienced guys reporting issues, and then it's traced back to XP Realistic. XP Realistic does that. And if you use X camera and you enable XP Realistic, it also has an influence of how the guys experience things and how the simulator exaggerates certain things, So that's a very good point that you brought up.
Point, right? Is I need to make sure I've got XP Realistic turned off. Yeah. That's the only thing I use on my desktop, so I can have the sound effects.
Yeah.
That's the only plugin other than that I'm using when I'm doing tuning and stuff. So if guys are reporting XP Realistic not working well, playing well with XP, the latest version, then that could be another factor. But I found that when I first started flying the newest version, I noticed right away this effect with the airplane getting tossed around in an unusual way in turbulence. And so at first I thought, because I never fly with Cinema Verite on. Cinema Verite was very unrealistic, and I thought, so I always had it turned off. I thought, well, maybe that's turned on. So I went up and looked, and they've replaced Cinema Verite with this 3D G-Load camera.
Yes.
And it defaults to on.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't even realize that. So that is creating this bouncing around that also.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a lot of things that can be affecting it. But I think the most important thing to realize is that prior to 12.0, I think that's the current version, right? Prior to that, on 12.1, none of these issues were apparent. So, looking at the flight model is the wrong thing. You need to look at the causal change, and that's the XP itself. Now, if there's something that changed that requires a difference in flight model coding, then that also needs to be something addressed by to some degree by Laminar, because even though Zibomod uses unique code, it still has to work with the XP flight model engine. It has to interact and it has to affect that, right? So if there's a change in that flight model engine part of the code versus the atmospherics part of the code, it's causing a problem. That's something that has to be solved at Laminar level, because Lubos is never going to be able to code that out.
Okay,
right?
No, I get that. But it's all part of the discussion,
it's kind of like the problems we had when XP12 was the first beta was released, and we couldn't get the Zibomod to fly in it at all. We had to completely start from scratch, and we went through dozens of iterations trying to identify where the problems were. And then ultimately I found it was the Laminar fuselage modeling that was creating the problem. What used to be the experimental fuselage now is on by default. And
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I remember that. That was a hell of a job.
You set up for the arrival, Nico?
No, so it's still 220 nautical miles. I'll do it closer to 150. Hello, Archibus. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, while we're waiting on Twixter, I'm not sure, Twixter, did we lose you or are you still there? I think we lost him a little bit. We lost his audio. But
I've
this
sent you
is,
a PM as well, Nico.
thank you. This is quite an interesting discussion that we're having.
Yeah, it's useful input.
Yeah.
Now, there's a definite improvement in the clarity of your instruments, etc.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. No, it feels like I'm home, Mac. I'm feeling quite at home, relaxed. It looks beautiful, works beautiful. I'm really happy.
Good.
You guys did me a huge favor here, man.
Yeah, good.
Sorry, I just want to know, is Uncle John still around?
I'm still here.
Okay. Just checking, you're very quiet. Are you on push to talk, in other words?
Yeah, I'm on push to talk.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
You should have received two things, PM from me and an email.
I received... Oh, I received your PM. I don't look at my email while I'm streaming. Let me have a look. Wait. Let's see. Yeah, that's not cool.
Neil, did you realise you've got a PM from me in Discord?
That's interesting. Okay, I just received an email, but not the one you're talking about, Uncle John. No, I'll have to check that on my phone.
In other words, check your PayPal.
Yeah. Why is this doing this now? Yeah, thanks, Uncle John. I got the message from Tommy here.
Thank you.
Yeah, Alex, Uncle John was on his iPad. Now he's on his PC now. That's much better. You're right. Dave, good luck with that one.
Got any means of checking the temp and your VRAM usage in your card at the moment, Mika?
Only Specky.
Okay.
It's busy analyzing it.
Okay.
For your information, I'm using 47% of my VRAM.
So that's less than that, yeah.
Yeah. Right. It's 57 degrees, 56 degrees, Mac.
That's brilliant. As long as it stays under 60 or 60-ish. Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Lovely. Scotsman. Yeah, Tishay. That happens. Okay, so we lost Twixter completely now. He's not even here anymore. Anyway, keep it friendly, gentlemen. I see it as a big joke, so don't take it further. Hello, Matthew. Welcome. Yeah, it's been a while. Nice to see you again. Like so, Scotsman. I'm going to see how close we are so we can actually get to... I need to start seeing how close we are so I can start setting up for the approach and landing. Yeah, I'm loving this. This is a game changer. Absolute game changer. Right, let's have a look. Let's see. Oh, where is it? Just do my planning quickly. Six feet. Current temperature is 34. Oh, you guys, hope you didn't wear jerseys where you came from. You're going to be very hot when you get out of this aircraft. Pressing the wrong number. Oh. You guys into the picture. That is our approach. We're going to do an RNAV approach, and we're going to use the code for LPV over there, the WAS code, course heading 227. And we're going to descend to 1,200 and 226 on the minimums. Right, so 2990 first of all, that's our altimeter, and then 226, our decision altitude there. Hey, 36. 1,200. 1,200 the descent. Course heading 227.
Braking.
Sorry?
Braking.
What braking? What's braking?
You haven't set your brakes yet.
Oh, no. We're getting there. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Set then. Now PV and VOR, I don't see any VORs on that chart, so let's go set our PV. There. 56,322. 56,322. Right, frequencies, minimas, courses. All PFD set up our VREFs. Alright, okay, I think we're done. No, Linda's alright. I haven't seen that she's broken her neck again and things like that. So she's actually a good girl right now. She's doing a bit. Matthew, we were having a whole discussion with Twixter through the early stages up to very recently in the stream. We don't find any issues with the flight model, so let's start with that. We are suspecting changes in the laminar side, okay? So we have to wait for a bit of stability on their side. After 12.3 is released, we'll compare notes and update if necessary. At this point in time, we're not going to change the flight model, okay? Victor says he got booted off, cannot reset. Yeah, I don't know. It's like he can't connect now, it seems. I don't know. Mac,
Yes.
I don't see Fixter in the online list here in the crew room, for instance. Okay. Don't you
No.
just want to quickly help me out? Go to the member section. Just make sure that something didn't go wrong with his membership or something, because now he says he can't get in. It says that he's not authorized. I don't know.
Hang on. Let me go have a look. Hang on.
It's like something happened to his account.
That's funny.
Oh, he's not online. Hang on a second. Can you please set your Discord status to online so we can see your account easier? Okay, he's going to put himself online just now. Hello, Krister. Relaxing, working, enjoying company. We've done it a lot. We're trying to get Twixter back online. This is the strangest thing.
He's still a member.
And he's got all his rights. Nothing changed in terms of his rights.
I'm just going to look now. Skymatix. Yeah, it's private Zevo dev room. Zibo pilots, follower, and Zibo update tag.
Yeah.
For the follower and pilots, you should get here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing on our side, but he says he couldn't get back in. It says not authorized for him to come back in. Everything is here. I don't see a problem here.
No. Tell him I'm going to send him, well, I'm going to send him a message.
On the plus side, okay, you guys are talking, Discord sometimes messes up. Multi-factor authentication, yeah. I don't know, man. You say you're going to send him a message? Yeah. That's a bummer. Right, 69 nautical miles for top of descent. Ooh, that's nice. That's a beautiful picture.
Nico, it's coming up to 2100. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
100%. 100%, Uncle John. Enjoy the chats.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Got my message, but I can't see anything wrong with his membership.
Yeah, we can't see anything wrong. I see. Yeah. No idea. I have no idea. I even asked him, is he sure he's got data left on his mobile? He said yes. I'm just checking. I've got 2 children. Do you know how many times I have to ask that?
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah. Make sure you've got data. Yeah, okay, I've got. Okay, problem solved. Try again. Oh, this is a beautiful area. Really beautiful with the clouds. I see my stream announcement that come in eventually at 8:43 p.m. Mac. Like 13 minutes late. There's top of descent coming.
Wondering what other authorization we could give him.
Mac, Christer was mentioning something here that the two-factor authentication sometimes messes around. It might be that he
Okay.
needs to do the two-factor authentication thing again. I don't.
That's if he's using it. Yeah.
Yeah, if he's using it. I actually think that our server won't allow you to connect if you don't use it.
I don't use it, and I
Is
can.
it? Okay.
Hmm.
Scratch that then. Exactly, Dave. But it's so annoying. I mean, you've got the identity set. Mine asks me twice a month still, even with the identity set, I need to log in again. It just kicks me out. And I have to log in again to my identity. I thought the whole idea of the identity was to get rid of that crap. Because, I mean, that's just stupid. You can see the person is logged in. Why do you kick him out and tell him to log in again? But that's just me, you know? Just don't think it's very optimized yet.
Mind you, I had to think the last time I had to log into Discord, as you know, it's never turned off.
Yeah. Now Dexter says he doesn't see my feed at all now. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Discord invite. I'm going to send him an invite. Tell him to click the button or follow the link. Are you back? Yeah, he's back. He's back. He's back. But you're sounding like a little rubber band again.
Uh,
Oh, we can't hear you. We can see you talking and we hear slight bits and pieces, but I don't think your Wi-Fi is good enough, eh?
in case and it wasn't listed. Yeah, yeah. I'm on the main Wi-Fi, and I don't think
You're breaking up bad
Yeah,
matrix.
yeah.
There.
That is a pity. Dun, 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 dun. Luckily, they are a bit far away from us. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it works when you're logged in and it doesn't kick you out. It's rather irritating. And I got the new installer that told us to get to fix that problem, but it's clearly not fixed yet. It's like this safe flight situation. It only works sometimes.
Yeah.
Approach top of descent.
Yeah, in my situation, Dave, I've got a 500 meg fiber line here because I run the whole business and house and everything off this one line. I have a mobile data plan that gives me 20 gig per month and it can stack 2 months. So I generally sit with, I think maybe 35 plus gigabyte of data on my phone. It basically lapses every second month because once it's stacked 1 month, they, don't do a third month. You can only have 2 months, one after another. So at least that's how my plan works. And so apart from that, some of the work that we do, we need to buy data bundles. 4 separate SIM cards. So we've got little, I don't know what you guys call it, we call it little MiFis. It's a little Wi-Fi router that you carry in your pocket, basically. It comes with a USB connector and you can connect like 10 devices on this thing. So when we work with the Intel Nuke servers that we play with and Ubuntu, we need to update those things. And there's certain software that we need to load. So when we get to site, we switch those things on, and typically we load them with 30, 40, 50 gig a month, depending on the usage. And so if the event happens where we added like yesterday and over the weekend for a couple of hours where we lose the fiber, we've got so much mobile data. It's not good enough to stream out like we're doing here. I mean, I can't do a stream like this, but it's good enough for us to watch Netflix and do streaming from the receiving side, on the receiving side. And we've got plenty of data. I mean, my computer has got a built-in Wi-Fi card, so I just switch over and it's seamless, and fortunately we're in a good area of reception. We can see all the towers and have good 5G, 6G coverage, Hello, Steve. How are you doing? Yeah, we're okay. We're having a very nice chat with Twixter, and I suppose Twixter can still hear me because he's in the room with us, but we're struggling to hear him now. So it's a bit unfortunate on that side, but it was a good evening, good stream and all. How are you doing? How's the wife doing? Are you okay? Shame, man. Yeah, shame. Yeah, we had a nasty blackout a couple of days ago here. It was Sunday. The whole of Sunday we didn't have any power. We were running off solar and then batteries, and I was having to work, and then I streamed, and fortunately we had enough juice for that. Load shedding. Back.
Yeah.
Your mic's on.
Sorry.
No problem. It's currently almost 10:15 p.m. here in Johannesburg. Into Sims, hello, hello. Yeah, it's 10:15. But you see, Dave, now I've got peace in my heart. I can love my sim again, you know. It's been hard getting here, but we made it.
Can you hear me now, Nico?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I don't know how good this connect. I went to my instead of my phone.
Okay. Well, I can see your little green light comes on when you talk and so on. I'll just monitor it. If it works, it works. Otherwise, it's fine, Twixter. I mean, we had a good meeting this evening.
Yeah, I don't have really good Wi-Fi at the moment. That's probably part
Yeah.
of it.
Well, when you make your list,
Evidently my phone,
yeah, when you make your list for your new house,
5G something was wrong with that.
are you breaking a bit?
My new house.
You're breaking badly.
I don't. Next week, have anything set up at the new house yet as far as the day?
Yeah. But now you know what needs to be number one on your list is a good internet.
Capable of running at speed.
Yeah.
Approaching transition.
Well, I've got the internet over there. Unfortunately, I had to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Computer in Texas. The provider has changed by extending router.
Yeah, something is not working. Something is not working nicely on your side, shame, man.
Ready for approach checklist.
My computer's is not working, so yeah, it's I have an extender, but it's not working right now.
Got it, yeah.
So
Hello, Tom. Good to be back in the saddle again, driving the Zebo. Excellent. Following me to the second star from the right, then straight on till morning. Ah, gotcha. Gents, the thing with the crowns, I'm not sure if it's a YouTube thing or if it's a Streamlabs OBS thing, but basically it calls you top fans. I don't know how it determines that or where it gets the information from, but if you have a crown, you are apparently a top fan. So I'm told. Yes, into some, so I had to, you know, let me rephrase that. I didn't do anything. I didn't know what happened, but I had to upgrade because I was gifted this new one by the precious followers of Skymatix and Zibo and the guys that put their hands in their pockets and made it possible. So they gifted me this. I was totally surprised. I didn't know anything about it, and obviously when they give it to me, I have to use it, you know. So it happened yesterday, and there you go. Thank you, Dave. Okay, I clicked at the top here in Streamlabs OBS where it says top fan. I clicked there. What it does is it appears to be giving you, and like I say, I believe it's Slobs doing this, it's not YouTube doing this. It basically gives you a score. So Dave is 150, Alex 150, Flying Scotsman 150, then it goes down 100, 75, 75, a lot of you are on 75, then some of you are on 50. It actually gives each name with like something, well, a number, and then XP at the back. So, you know, if we look at first-person shooter games or something like that, you know, it's basically your experience points or something like that, you know, or your health in the chat. I don't know, something like that, like Dave said, you know, it's how active you are. The more active you are, the more points you get. Yes, Dave. Yeah, you and Alex are number one. You're a tie. Interesting. I can see here on this screen, but when I look at your points, you and Dave both have 150 XP points, and Scotsman as well. So I don't know if it's got other criteria. I don't know how it differentiates between 1, 2, and 3. It's automated. I don't know.
Flight level 100. Landing lights switches on.
It's probably related to the actual stream, yes. So the next time Scotsman's will be 1, Tom will be 2, Alex will be number 1 the next time, Dave will be number 3 the next time, something like that. I don't know. That sounds good. Into Sims, I had to find your chat because of all the other chats going over it. I see good reports all over from WinWing stuff, eh? People using it. Scotsman, you can experiment all you want, buddy. Right, I reckon we should sit upright and stow the tray tables, fasten those seat belts, gents. Yeah, if you want a stick shift license, you got to go do it over again, eh? All right. Some brakes on. Doc Rabbit, yeah. I haven't flown these routes in quite some time, and that's why I'm doing them now. I used to fly here a lot. With X-Plane 11 and all Andrew's sceneries. I had lots of them. It was a pleasure flying all over this place. Right, speed brake armed. Water brake is on. Linda's doing her thing. Put the seat belts on. Have to check that again, I suppose. I can imagine. Right, and our go-around altitude is 2000. Once we're on the glide slope, we can look at that. Right. What is this, like a tunnel going under the sea or what in real world, or did they just not draw it properly? Thank you, Scotsman. Uh-huh. Okay, that's clever.
1000 to level off.
We don't have things like that in South Africa. It's bloody very cute, nice. Did something I shouldn't have. Yes, this one. Didn't turn my MCP knob far enough. Okay.
Ready for landing checklist.
What's your trim current in Nico?
I was checking it at 6, but it moved. That's like 5.5 now.
Okay.
Going down a little bit. Nose down a bit.
What is that as you're slowing down?
Probably Mac, and also adjusting the thrust, you know.
Okay.
It's coming down, it's like 5, see, 5. Okay,
I
disconnected.
know you wanted to keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
that was
there's
all.
5, so it's at about 5 now. I know, that's appreciated, Mac, that you remembered.
Approaching decision height.
Minimum.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brake up. Reverse unlocked. Auto brake in use.
That was nice.
60 knots.
Yeah, but not so much on the center line, but it was nice. See, look, Look how it's stuttering all of a sudden. I don't know, something's updating bloody again. Went down to 19 frames and then stopped dead. Fortunately, I did the landing already. Thank you, Vaughan. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Dave. Archibus, Steve. Yeah, that was really nice. I'm glad whatever updated in the background did after I landed. Right. After landing procedure.
After landing procedure.
Come on. Yeah, I don't know. Some process around there. Crazy.
After landing procedure complete.
I'm hoping I'm guessing the correct track here. Yeah, you know, I can be slower, but I was okay there.
Flaps up and set.
There you go. See how far we are. Thank you, Linda.
Ready for shutdown procedure.
Shutdown procedure.
Shutdown procedure.
Okay, this is all done. It's all done. Yes, I connected all of those things, and that's it. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for spending time here, man. Thank you to everybody else as well. We didn't have big numbers watching, but we had good quality content. Thank you, Twixter, for slogging through the bad connection and sharing your knowledge with us and so on. It was excellent, actually excellent to have you here. Now I'm falling over my tongue. Thank you so much, Mac, for reminding me.
Shutdown procedure.
All the stuff. Let's just see. I haven't changed anything again yet. So we're at about 5. I didn't use trim off the disconnect as far as I know. So there you go. Hope that helps, Twixter. I'm fully on board what you said, and I wish you good luck. Keep me posted, eh? Whatever you do, wherever you go, keep me posted. All right, okay.
I'll
Disconnect as far as I know, so.
stay in touch.
Yeah, 100% Twixter, thanks. I appreciate it. Mac?
Yes?
Go rest, my friend. We'll talk in the morning.
Yes, no, nice flight, and thank you all for being here.
100%. Thanks, Into Sims and Doc Rabbit. And Twixter is here with us. He's responsible for the flight model. So if you listen to the beginning of the stream, the first, I think, 3/4 probably, he gave us all his wisdom. So you guys can rewind, go watch that. That's it. I'm going to say good night. I'm going to hit the A now as well. So you guys have fun. We'll talk soon again. Bye-bye.
Bye, Nico.